Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to use Qualtrics to create a survey from start to finish. If you are new to Qualtrics and want to learn how to build professional surveys, customize them, publish them, and view responses, then this tutorial will walk you through everything you need to know in simple steps. Let's get started. The first thing you need to do is sign into your Qualtrics account. Once you log in, you'll arrive on the main dashboard where all of your projects are stored. If this is your first time using Qualtrics, your dashboard may be empty. If you have already created surveys before, you'll see them listed here. To create a new survey, look toward the upper right corner of the page and click on Create Project. A window will appear with different project types. Since we're creating a survey, choose Survey and then click Get Started. Now you'll need to give your survey a name. For this example, I'm going to call it Feedback Survey. You can use any name you want depending on your project. Below that, you'll see different ways to start your survey. You can begin with a blank survey, import an existing survey, or use one of the available templates. If you're learning Qualtrics for the first time, starting with a blank survey is the easiest option because it lets you build everything from scratch. Select Blank Survey and then click Create Project. After a few moments, Qualtrics will open the Survey Builder. This is where you'll spend most of your time creating and editing your survey. When you first open the builder, you'll notice that your survey already contains one empty question inside a block. Blocks help organize your survey. You can think of a block as a page that contains one or more questions. Let's begin by creating our first question. Click inside the question text and type something like, "How often do you shop online?" Below the question, you'll see answer choices. Since this is a multiple choice question, let's replace the default answers with our own. Option 1 can be every week. The second option can be every month. And the third option can be rarely. Now your first question is ready. If you want to edit the question type, look at the panel on the left side. Here you'll see the current question type, which is multiple choice. Clicking it lets you switch to many other question formats. For example, instead of multiple choice, you can choose text entry if you want respondents to type their own answer. Let's create another question. Click Add New Question underneath your first question. This time we'll ask, what is the main reason you shop online? Instead of multiple choice, change the question type to text entry. Now people can type a detailed response instead of selecting from predefined answers. Let's add one more question. Click Add New Question again. This time we'll ask, how satisfied are you with your recent online shopping experience? For this question, you can choose a matrix table or a multiple choice question with rating options. Let's keep it simple by using multiple choice. Enter these choices. Option 1 can be very satisfied. The second option can be satisfied. And the third option can be neutral. Now you have 3 questions inside the same block. One important thing to understand is the difference between adding a question and adding a block. Adding another question places the question on the same survey page. Adding another block creates a new page. Let's see how that works. Click Add Block. A brand new block appears below your first one. Inside this block, click Add New Question. We'll create another question that says, would you recommend our store to a friend? Leave this as a multiple choice question. Add the choices. First, yes. Second, maybe. Third, no. Because this question is inside a different block, respondents will answer the first page before moving to the second page. This helps organize longer surveys into smaller sections that are easier for people to complete. Now let's look at the different question types available in Qualtrics. When you click the question type menu, you'll notice many different options. Multiple choice is one of the most commonly used because it's simple and easy to answer. Text entry allows users to type short or long responses. Text and graphic lets you insert instructions, images, or other information between questions. Matrix table is useful when you want people to rate several statements using the same scale. Rank order allows respondents to drag items into their preferred order. Slider questions let users choose a value by moving a slider. Form questions allow respondents to enter information into multiple fields like a registration form. There are also timing questions, file upload questions, side-by-side layouts, heat maps, hotspots, and several other advanced question types depending on your Qualtrics account. Most of these can be customized using the settings panel on the left side of the screen. Now let's customize one of our questions. Select your first question. On the left side, you'll see options for changing the answer format. You can choose whether respondents select one answer or multiple answers. You can also randomize answer choices if you don't want every respondent to see them in the same order. If your survey has many options, randomization helps reduce order bias. You can also add new answer choices simply by clicking the plus button. If you accidentally create an extra answer, simply delete it using the small arrow icon next to the choice and clicking on Remove Choice. Now let's talk about the required questions. Sometimes you want respondents to answer certain questions before moving forward. Select a question and look for the required option. Turn it on. Now, if someone skips that question, Qualtrics will ask them to answer it before continuing. This is useful when collecting important information that shouldn't be left blank. Now let's preview the survey. At the top of the page, click Preview. A new preview window opens. This lets you experience the survey exactly like a respondent would. Answer your questions and click Next. Since we created 2 different blocks, you'll notice the survey moves to another page after finishing the first block. Continue answering the remaining questions. Finally, you'll reach the thank you page. Remember that preview responses are mainly for testing your survey before publishing it. If you notice anything that needs changing, simply return to the builder and make your edits. Now let's go back to the survey builder. Besides creating questions, Qualtrics also lets you control how your survey flows. Click Survey Flow. This section shows every block in your survey. You can rearrange blocks by dragging them into a different order. You can also insert advanced elements such as branches. Branches let you show different questions depending on how someone answered earlier questions. For example, imagine someone answers yes to recommending your store. You could automatically send them to questions about their favorite products. If another person answers no, you could instead ask what problems they experienced. This creates a more personalized survey experience. You can also add embedded data, randomizers, web service calls, and other advanced logic if your project requires them. For beginners, simply knowing where survey flow is located is enough. As you become more comfortable with Qualtrics, you'll naturally explore these advanced features. Now let's look at Look and Feel. Click Look and Feel. This area controls the appearance of your survey. You'll find different themes that change the overall design. You can customize colors to match your company or organization. For example, if your business uses blue branding, you can change the survey colors to match. You can also adjust fonts, button styles, backgrounds, and layout settings. A professional design helps create a better experience for respondents. After changing a theme, preview your survey again to make sure everything looks the way you expect. Next, let's open Survey Options. Here you'll find many settings that affect how respondents interact with your survey. For example, you can turn question numbers on or off. You can display a progress bar so respondents know how much of the survey remains. You can enable or disable the back button. You can set survey expiration dates if you only want responses during a certain period. You can also customize the end of survey message. Instead of showing the default thank you page, you could write something like, "Thank you for sharing your feedback. Your responses help us improve our services." These small details make your survey feel much more polished. Another section you'll notice is quotas. Quotas allow you to limit responses. For example, maybe you only want 100 completed surveys. Once that number is reached, Qualtrics can automatically stop accepting new responses. Businesses often use quotas when collecting research data from a specific number of participants. You'll also find the translation section. If your audience speaks multiple languages, you can create translated versions of your survey. Respondents can then complete the survey in their preferred language. This feature is especially useful for international organizations or universities. Now let's return to the builder again because that's where most of your work will happen. As your survey grows, you may have several blocks and dozens of questions. Qualtrics makes it easy to drag questions into different positions if you decide to reorganize your survey later. You can duplicate questions instead of creating them from scratch. You can also copy entire blocks when building similar survey sections. These tools save a lot of time when working on larger projects. Once you're satisfied with your survey, it's time to publish it. Look toward the upper right corner and click Publish. Qualtrics may display a review window. Here you can enter a description of your latest changes if you want to keep track of different versions. Click Publish again. Your survey is now live. After publishing, you'll be able to share it with respondents. One of the easiest ways is through an anonymous survey link. Simply copy the generated link and send it through email, messaging apps, social media, or place it on your website. Anyone with the link can open your survey and submit responses. As people begin completing your survey, you'll want to review the collected information. Click Data and Analysis. This section stores every response your survey receives. You can browse individual responses, filter results, search for specific answers, and export your data for further analysis. Many users export their survey results into Excel or statistical software after collecting enough responses. Before ending your survey project, it's always a good idea to complete one final preview. Go through every page. Check that every question appears correctly. Make sure answer choices are accurate. Confirm that the required questions work properly. Test the navigation buttons. If you use branching or advanced logic, verify that respondents are directed to the correct questions. Spending a few extra minutes testing your survey can prevent mistakes after people begin responding. As you continue using Qualtrics, you'll become more comfortable with advanced features like display logic, skip logic, embedded data, randomization, scoring, and automated workflows. However, for most surveys, the process always follows the same general steps. And that's everything you need to know to create and publish a survey using Qualtrics. Hopefully this tutorial helped you understand how the platform works. Thanks for watching.